Hey guys, Seborrheic is back. I hope you all are doing well. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about how often to wash your dreads. I know that there are varying opinions on this topic. I've gotten flack for how infrequently I wash my locks. I mean, normally throughout the year I wash every 2 months when I do my retwists because my hair grows away from my locks. And so to avoid my locks thinning out, I try to only wash when I have to, and every 2 months works well. But during the winter time, I try to go all 4 months without washing because I don't plan on doing a retwist for those 4 months. And I've gotten flack for that as well. So instead of me coming on today and telling you what you should or should not be doing, I just thought that I would show you the research that I've seen, and you can draw your own conclusions. Because at the end of the day, guess what? We all have different situations that we're working with, and just because you see a video of me telling you that I only wash with this frequency, that doesn't really tell you much. Anyone can get on here and tell you what they're doing, but until you've actually been up in that person's scalp and looking at their locks, examining their locks, you really shouldn't have an opinion on it because you don't know their situation. And I think that as I go through the research today, you will be able to see that, right? And you'll see that it's not just me who is saying that, it kind of depends on other variables. It's not a set in stone like you have to wash your hair every day. I also want to note that in the research, the majority of it that I found, I can definitely tell that it really applies and pertains to Caucasian people or people with straight hair, people who don't have curly, kinky hair, just from some of the things that are said, and I'll point them out as we come across them. But anyway, yeah. How often should you wash your locks? How often should you wash your dreads? Let's get to it. Alright, so the first place that I went to, and we're going to be going through, I have quite a few websites, so I want to try to get through this as quickly as possible. But the first place that I visited was marieclaire.com, and there was this article written by Lauren Valenti, and it says 8 things that happen when you don't wash your hair enough. I'm not going to go through all 8 things, only the things that are really applicable to us, okay? So the first section that I'm going to read is titled, Your Scalp Gets Pretty Gnarly. The cold hard truth is that dry shampoo, while being an undeniable hair care game changer, can only do so much for the grime that collects on your scalp as the days go on. If cleansing frequency is not often enough, the dirt and debris could lead to discomfort, explains Spengler. As far how often, okay, they forgot ass. As far as how often, do people proofread anymore? I mean, I just don't understand. This is like published online and they're like errors or, mistakes. Like, it's just, I don't know. I guess I'm just really strict and I'm a stickler for that, but proofread, people. Anyway, sorry, tangent. Mini rant. As far as how often you should wash your hair, he's adamant about the fact that there's no magic number of days, and it varies dramatically for each individual. Now, if you're wondering who the Spengler person is, he has the title hair scientist. So his name is Eric Spengler, and he's apparently a hair scientist. The next paragraph is titled, So Does the Hair Itself. So it's kind of playing off of the previous paragraph, your scalp gets pretty gnarly, and then the next one is, So does the hair itself. Hair is a non-living fiber, which means what it attracts stays there in between washes. I'm as guilty as anyone for loving what lived-in hair does for my texture, but the fact of the matter is that it's a slippery slope. If not cleaned, the hair may hold excess sebum, which may attract more dirt, he says. And so this is kind of another clue about who these people are that are talking, right? You know, some people love like a very greasy look at times. You know, if they're trying to pull a certain look off, they will not wash their hair to achieve that as the excess oils continue to build up. People like me with my type of hair, like, I never had to worry about that, right? If anything, before I had dreadlocks, I was trying to put products in my hair to put more moisture into it, right? What was naturally occurring was never enough for me, and I think that's the case for many African Americans or just people in general who have this type of hair texture. All right, next paragraph is things get itchy. Excess debris often leads to itching, which leads to scratching, which is abrasive to the scalp and hair follicles, which in turn causes dandruff-like flaking. So not dandruff, but dandruff-like flaking. This can be even more of a problem during the wintertime when the scalp is more prone to dryness. And of course, we know that it's winter right now, okay? All right, let's move on to a website called dryscalpgone.com. And the title of this is, what are the reasons for an itchy scalp when hair is dirty? Starts out by saying there is no precise number when it comes to how often we should wash our hair. So that seems to be the consensus so far. No one can tell you this is exactly how often you should wash your hair. There are just too many variables. Washing it every day can dry it out, but washing it too infrequently can cause dirty hair and a myriad of scalp-related problems. Pro tip. You may think that not washing your hair helps with moisture and natural oils. However, dirty scalp and hair are a common cause of a dry and itchy scalp. So for a lot of people who don't want their hair and scalp to get too dry, they abstain from washing so that those oils will remain in place and sort of build up, you know, as more of the sebum is secreted. But the tip is like, well, if that's your goal, if that's your end goal, there's a downside, because dirty hair and scalp are also causes of a dry and itchy scalp. It's a style factor more often than not. And so here we go again with a clue that leads me to believe that this article isn't necessarily referring to people who have my type of hair texture who look like me, right? Unkempt, unwashed hair is often considered fashionable. Other times we don't wash our hair often because of convenience. So I guess that kind of applies to, you know, me and my situation, but I've never not washed my hair to be fashionable. You know, that's just not what's going on. Modern solutions like dry shampoo have appeared as replacements for actual washing. Unfortunately, they don't do the trick when it comes to deep cleansing, and I just want to say I would never use a dry shampoo. I mean, it's hard enough to get the things out of my scalps, you know, out of my locks as it is. You know, anything that I put in that may flake up. I don't really put anything in, but just even the natural sebum that's occurring, you know, with time, if there's a buildup or whatever, or dead skin scales, those things, you know, like, have to wash them out. So I definitely would not add any agent like that, like a dry shampoo, to my hair, no. So what's the big deal? Why do you get an itchy scalp when not washing your hair? There are a few major reasons. As we go through them, you'll quickly see how important regular washing of your hair can be. So obviously this person is a proponent of washing your hair regularly. Finding the perfect balance of how often to wash it can be challenging, but it's necessary for the health of your hair and scalp. It's also vital that you use the right shampoo. One effective way to clean your hair and scalp is with Christina Moss Naturals organic shampoo. Okay, so they're trying to push a product, but I think it is still true that it can be challenging to find the perfect balance of how often to wash it, right? And I do definitely think that washing your hair is obviously very important for the health of your hair and scalp. Now, I also want to take this moment to say that, you know, for the people who outright, and, you know, just immediately automatically condemn me when they hear that I don't wash my hair for 2 months and sometimes for 4 months, you know, the proof is in the pudding. How does my hair look? How does my scalp look when I show you my scalp? Doesn't it look healthy? Don't my locks look healthy? So maybe that should clue you in. Maybe that should be a clue that, hey, maybe what I'm doing is actually working for my situation, for the predicament that I'm in, for all these other variables that are factored into my specific situation. Maybe me abstaining from washing for 2 months and 4 months once a year, maybe that's good and okay for me. And just because it doesn't work for you doesn't mean that it won't work for someone else. So I just want to mention that too, because people are so quick to say, oh, you're nasty or you're unsanitary, this and that. But how does my scalp and how do my locks look? Well, last time I looked at them, they look darn good. So I guess I'm not botching it up completely. Title of the next paragraph: why do I have an itchy scalp when my hair is dirty? For each day that goes by and you don't wash your hair, think about what might be collecting on your scalp. Dirt and grime build up extremely quickly, so much so that dermatologists consider it to be debris. This buildup includes things like dead skin, natural oils, dirt, hair care products. Okay, I have dead skin happening, I have natural oils happening, probably a little bit of dirt, but my locks are generally covered by my satin bonnet tam combo, so that is extremely minimized. And I don't use hair care products. I mean, if you consider natural oils that I use very infrequently to be a product, then I guess you can include that. But yeah, the hair care products that I think that they're referring to, I don't use any of those. I retwist with water, right? So I don't have to worry about that building up on my scalp or on my locks. There's a difference between your hair being a bit dirty and excessively dirty. After a day of not washing, you may find the right texture for styling. A day's worth of natural oils and buildup probably won't cause you any discomfort, but several days of buildup can make quite a difference. Once again, this is when I'm kind of feeling like this article is not necessarily applying to hair like mine. You'll likely notice that difference when you scratch. A sort of grimy sensation is bound to follow. When you scratch your scalp, you may even feel the debris under your fingernails. And I've definitely done, the gentle scratch test of my scalp to actually examine how dirty it is, and whenever I do that, I don't get anything up under my fingernails, even though it's been 2 months, right? So once again, what I'm doing is working for me. That's a clear indication that the buildup has gone on too long. If you don't already feel uncomfortable and itchy at that point, you can expect to soon. Next section, how to relieve itching and dandruff. Dandruff isn't caused by a dry scalp. Rather, it's usually the result of a buildup of debris on your scalp. This buildup can quickly become uncomfortable and of course itchy. As you try to relieve your scalp, it can flake off, and itching can cause further issues. If it's too frequent, you can scratch to the point of causing pain and bleeding. Do you think that dandruff is only associated with flakes? That's not necessarily true. Seborrheic dermatitis, another name for the condition, doesn't have to cause embarrassing white flakes. Instead, it can cause inflammation and a tender scalp. It's the inflammation that causes the itching. So even if you don't get those noticeable white flakes, you may still have the condition. More oils and debris in your hair can be nice for texture and styling, but it's certainly not so good for the health of your scalp. Next section, hair is weighed down by products. If you don't wash your hair frequently, it can become weighed down and cause discomfort and itching. Between natural oils and products, your hair can quickly become heavy. And so once again, I just want to reiterate that I don't use the products. Basically, it's just the natural oil that's on my scalp since I retwist with water. So I don't have to worry about this weighing down issue. And I don't have to worry about excess buildup over that 2-month period that I'm not washing, because it's just natural oils. And I don't think that a lot of natural oil or sebum is being secreted in that period of time for me. It has never caused me a problem, you know. I've never had smelly locks or smelly scalp. By the way, I have a story time for you guys about a smelly scalp, and you know, I've never done a story time, but I feel like this is one I want to do because I feel like it explains why some people, you know, really come for you about not washing your hair frequently enough. So yeah, expect that soon, sooner than later. Okay, that weight pulls at the hair follicles connected to the scalp. It upsets the nerve endings in your hair. When that happens, you may experience discomfort or even pain. That may give you the desire to scratch to find some relief. If you notice a scratching sensation when you put your hair, okay, so I don't put my hair in a ponytail, so we'll leave that there. What's the best way to treat a dry scalp? You may choose not to wash your hair as often in the winter so it doesn't get dried out and itchy. The concept makes sense. However, not washing your hair doesn't prevent you from getting a dry scalp due to cold weather. And then it says instead use a natural shampoo to fight against dryness. Or I would also say that you can use an oil to combat the dryness as well. Other safe moisturizing products are also effective. Try to find something that is chemical free. That way it won't strip the hair of its natural oils. If your scalp is extremely prone to dryness, you may want to consult a dermatologist for a stronger medicated option. Your hair does need certain oils to stay healthy, but an excessive buildup of those oils will only cause more harm than good. And then lastly, clean hair for a healthy scalp. There's a fine line between being able to give your hair texture and taking care of the health of your scalp. That balance is different for everyone. Everyone's scalp has a different pH level it needs to sit comfortably. If it is skewed one way or another, some skin condition could potentially occur. Not washing your hair frequently may be a style statement, but don't be surprised if it only takes a matter of days before you experience discomfort and itching. As you can see, there are plenty of reasons for an itchy scalp when hair is dirty. There is some good news. There are plenty of ways to get rid of a dry and itchy scalp too. Next, we're going to be moving on to Simple Most, make the most out of your life. This is found at simplemost.com. The title of this is, and this was written about a year ago, this is why your scalp hurts when your hair is dirty. I've heard of some people complaining about a certain tenderness on their scalp, with their scalp, and I just wanted to read this so that if you're experiencing that on your scalp, then this might be why. If you notice an ache or tenderness as you let your tresses down in the shower, it's because oils your scalp produce naturally build up around your hair shaft. This can lead to an overgrowth of yeast on your scalp. Yes, we're grossed out too. In an interview with Glamour, New York City-based board-certified dermatologist Joshua Zeichner, MD, explained how this can lead to inflammation. Quote, in some patients, inflammation may manifest most with an ache, Dr. Zeichner told Glamour. The inflammation can also cause redness, itching, or scaly skin. Though it sounds truly revolting, it doesn't mean you have a yeast infection on your head. In fact, it's a totally different kind from the better known but equally unpleasant Candida yeast. The yeast on your scalp is called Malassezia yeast and lives on everyone's bodies, according to Zeichner. When there's more yeast than normal, for example, when you need to wash your hair, your body becomes more sensitive to it. This is what can cause the aching, itching, or discomfort. Cynthia Bailey, MD, a diplomat of the American Board of Dermatology and president and CEO of Advanced Skin Care and Dermatology Incorporated, told Glamour. So another sign that you need to wash your hair is that you might actually start feeling some tenderness, you know? There might be an actual ache associated with the dirtiness and with the dirt that is accumulating on your scalp. All right, so that was from, once again, simplemost.com. So I want to end this video here, and then I will make a second part continuing on with the research that I've found, that I've come across. As always, please learn to love unconditionally, because loving with conditions conditions the heart to not really love at all. Seborrheic is out.